Well, now, look where you found yourself. This is Hammer Away, and I'm Viking Stew. Let's get hammered.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys? This is Jaron Golino with Lynch Mob, and I'm hanging with Viking Stew on the Hammer Away Show.
Well, hello everybody. How is it going? It is Wednesday. It is a busy day today.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Whew. You know what I'm talking about. It all happens. It all happens at the same time, and that's all right. It's kind of like when you take that crazy turn in the middle of a drive, and you're like still cruising at the same speed, and you're like, I think I can do this. So yeah. So it ended up last night. I got some things done. As you can see, things are different in the background. Not that they're necessarily going to stay like this, although it's not horrid. I don't hate it. But if you notice this right here, for those of you growing up in the 80s, I think they still make them, but the old Trapper Keeper, they sure don't promote them the same way as they used to. I mean, man, when I was a kid, you wanted one of those. I never had one. I didn't need it, or I don't know, whatever. I wasn't a trendy kid. Let's put it that way. So it's all good. But let's see. Let's see. We'll try to get just checking in with our possible guest today for this segment of our show. Saying, see a little bit of a delay of traveling right now. We'll try to get to you. Let's see, and that should work okay. So what I wanted to do is just go over a few things while it was beforehand, because I want to get into doing these news breaks on a regular basis. But as you can see, things moving around here takes up some of the time for now. And so then once I'm clear of all of that, then we'll be going into the slide, right? So anyway, I did something crazy last night and moved the vinyl. I had a little consultation with my lovely daughter the other day, who's very great with knowing her Pinterest stuff and making some great design decisions and making things look nice and cool and clean, and things look great. It's part of her job. I mean, it's just the way it goes. But for her to come over and take an eye on some things, and the thing I really like about it lately is I've been like, yep, nope, I get it, yep, no, yep, I can do that, absolutely, sounds good. So the other day I went and picked up some shelving. She's like, you need to do some shelves over here, and they need to be like white, and so it's clean looking. I go, I get it, that's absolutely fine. And so then I found some, but somebody else got them. You know how it goes on Marketplace. It's just the way it is. It doesn't always work in your favor, but everything happens for a reason, right? So then, and in this case, it's true again, as always. If you're just keeping your eyes open and you're not too on what has to happen for you. And hey, real quick, before I go any further, too, just a quick shout out in person, of course. Casey, how's it going, man? So he's the first in today to say something today, so that was great. But anyway, so I found some other shelves that were even more of what I needed, and were a better price. How about that? So everything does happen for a reason. So it was great. I went and picked those up, and also they had some vinyl stuff that I picked up from them as well. And there's been some cool stuff in there. It's not all in great condition. Some of it's, had a little water damage. I had to get rid of some of it. But nothing too crazy, but there's some fun things in there. And you know what? The one thing, speaking of music, since that's what we mainly talk about here, the one thing I never realized is and in fact, I'm going to look it up here real quick just so I have the info in front of me. I never realized how many really great songs there were on Bob Seger, The Distance, right? That's the name of it, right? Let's look up Bob Seger, The Distance. Now, when I was working on the radio, Like a Rock came out, and yeah, The Distance. There we go. So I'm just going to go into the page here. So I was looking at it. It has Even Now. It's got Making Thunderbirds, Boomtown Blues, Shame on the Moon, Love's the Last to Know, but it's got Roll Me Away on it. House Behind a House. Wait a minute. Is that right? Not The Distance. I'm sorry. Not The Distance. Roll Me Away is a great song. I like that song a lot. And there's probably other songs on here that I really, really like. But I'm sorry. It wasn't The Distance. It's Against the Wind. I'm so sorry. I had an Against the Wind in my head and a brain against the wind. That's really way out there. So anyway, that's what I was thinking of, is Against the Wind. So it has the title track, Against the Wind. But then it has the horizontal bop. It's got You'll Accompany Me, Her Strut. And then there's No Man's Land, Long Twin Silver Line. Then, of course, Against the Wind. Good for Me. Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight. Fire Lake. And it ends with Shining Brightly. But good Lord, let's just look at all those songs. Horizontal Bop. These are all songs that you probably heard on the radio. Horizontal Bop, You'll Accompany Me, Her Strut, Against the Wind, Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight, and Fire Lake. How many is that? 6? 6 songs? 6 songs hitting the radio from your album. And that was back, that was 1980. What a year. 1980. Talking Back in Black. You're talking British Steel. And just tons of others. Some of the things I got in the vinyl were things from 1980. Was I'm trying to remember. I know it's different, but like Soft Cell. I think Soft Cell came out that year or the year after. Nonstop Erotic Cabaret. Recorded 80 to 81, but it came out in, just after my birthday in 81. So there you go, November. So yeah, followed by Nonstop Ecstatic Dancing. So how about that? So anyway, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. 1980. What a great year. What a great year. So it's great to be here, guys. There's so much happening. Remember, right after this, soon, let's put it that way, soon after this show, we're going to be talking with Matt Bissonette for our regular show today. This is our lightning news flash, as you can see. So let's, where should we start? Should we start with, I have a couple of things to unbox. I got a great idea. Why don't we unbox one of them? And then we will then do some news, see what's going on out there. While I'm opening this, I'm eager to know. I don't want to get political, but this isn't really political. This is disturbing what people are doing out in California. I feel for those folks out in California. This is ridiculous. What's happening out there? It's unlawful. It's not peaceful. And what's really disgusting is that some people are spinning it to be peaceful. I'm not telling you that there aren't people out there that are just demonstrating peacefully. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there's some people out there doing some horrid shit. And they need to stop. but also the people who are, you know, they have footage of fires and whatnot. Well, it's all peaceful. It is not. It is not. Now, the first package that I've opened today is something that's very exciting to me. I had thought the other day when I was waiting for this to arrive that I had gone in a certain direction, but I actually went in another direction, which I like, and that's perfectly fine. So when it comes to books, you know, we have multiple directions. You can read it through an e-service, or you can buy the book. You can buy paperback or hardback. I always enjoy hardback if it's available. Sometimes it bothers me if there's no hardback version. I'm just like, I get it. If a book's not going to have a big, heavy distribution, they're not going to spend the money on a hardback until it proves itself, and then they may do the second run as a hardback. I'm guessing that's how that works. I have a friend of mine who's a novelist, and she'd be able to tell me that. But I love hardback books. I love the feel of them. I just love it. I love it, and it's like a little library. But if the only way I can get it is paperback, I'll do it. However, I distinctly remember now. I didn't distinctly remember before this, but I distinctly remember choosing the audio version of, there you go, and Party Every Day by Larry Harris. Now this is a breakdown of behind the scenes at Casablanca Records. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. Again, I have listened to this before and really enjoyed it. If you've not read this, if you do like listening to books, pick this up. It's great. This is unabridged, which is also great, which I would have assumed that it would have been. But yeah, look at that. I think it's 6 discs. Is it 6 or 7? It doesn't super matter, but there, yeah, it's great. Here, I'll just I'll kind of read you a little bit about Larry Harris. Here's a little bit of from LA Weekly. Wow, speaking of the fire town. The book contains detailed evidence of the chaotic manipulation of the music charts in the wild days before computer scanning. This fell mostly under Harris's purview, and he offers fascinating insight on what these legendary promo men did back in the day. Larry Harris began working for Buddha Kama Sutra Records in the summer of 1971 as the local New York promotions man. And in 1973, he joined his cousin Neil Bogart in founding Casablanca Records. He became executive vice president and managing director of the company in 1976 and left Casablanca in the fall of 79. He was born in New York, and you can really tell that from this, and now lives and works in Seattle. So there you go. This is from 2011. So do check it out. It's fascinating. There was so much. I mean, you know, Casablanca, yeah, known for lots of stuff. I mean, a range, right? Not like everything hit. Not like everything, you know, happened. If it happened at Casablanca, that's not the point. I mean, even Kiss was having trouble. And they, and finally did the live album and boom, exploded. Right. So they had 3 records in before they did their 4th album, which was the live album. So, but then you had Donna Summer, you had so many others. That were on their Village People, and just a vast amount of disco artists and R&B artists and soul artists and things like that. So, but you also had Angel was on the label as well. And we could do a deep dive into that and see the roster that was there in Casablanca. So, but yeah, it's and party every day. The inside story of Casablanca Records. So check that out. It's really neat. Really neat. Also, let's do my favorite little Google check. All right. So rock legend shares bold message about LA protests. Okay. Rock legend. All right. Protests broke out in Los Angeles, California in response to a number of raids conducted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Oh, I don't even know if I want to read this. Support lies with the Billy Joe Armstrong support lies with the protesters. Which protesters? All of them? The peaceful ones? The ones that are burning cars, which is horrid for the environment? And they were okay. 53. He's 53. Shared a snippet of the LA protests on Instagram along with a caption featuring the middle finger and ice cube emojis on Sunday, June 8th. The post also included a live recording of, okay. I don't need to read any more of that. If you want to know who's for it or who's against it or why they're for it or why against it, please feel free to read up. Let's get into the music stuff, though. Here you go. Iconic classic rock band joins forces with Eagles guitarist for epic Colorado concert. 80s classic rock legend Styx recently put on an epic light show while playing with Don Felder of the Eagles at their shall we get it right? Take the off. So playing with Don Felder of Eagles at their concert in Greenwood Village, Colorado on June 9th. The band, which was formed in Chicago in 1972, stopped off in Greenwood Village on their 2025 North American tour, where they played at the city's Fiddler Green Amphitheater. The tour is called the Brotherhood of Rock Tour, which we'll be talking about that today with Matt a little bit, which includes the band, Felder, and guitarist Kevin Cronin, who was part of REO Speedwagon. Okay. I need to read up on that. If anybody knows anything about that, text it into me. I haven't gotten into all that because I don't really like to dive into all the, I don't know. Now, I'm not saying it's all gossipy. It's business. That's all it is. It's business. That's why Rich Rath left. It was business. Cronin had a vision for the band. He was doing, some of the big writing. I know that's unfortunate. Just because you're writing all the hits doesn't mean that you run it. And I'm sure that's not really the way it was. I don't know. And I don't care. It's business. You got to follow a good business format. And Rich Rath wasn't wanting to do that. So that's the way it goes. That happened to lots of people over the years. Happened in Y&T. But anyway, recently singer-guitarist Tommy Shaw opened up about writing the band's 18th studio album, Circling from Above, which drops on July 18th. You're writing about your experiences in your life and things that you love and enjoy, or things that were hard to go through and that sort of thing. He explains in an interview with Ultimate Classic Rock published last month. So you're just writing a book in little sections like that. The Musician 71 also explained that their label was a little wary of the album, considering it focuses on an aviary concept. Yep, you read that right. It's about birds. But he says, we're birders, Shaw told UCR of the Styx concept album in a previous interview. it was kind of risky to say this thing's going to be about a bird, but there was so much enthusiasm, and it's like, sometimes in life things just go your way, and this went our way. The band's original lineup boasted Dennis D. Young on vocals and keyboards, James J.Y. Young on guitar and vocals, John Krulewski on guitar and vocals, Chuck Panazzo on bass, and John Panazzo on drums. John Krulewski on guitar and The current lineup consists of Young, Shaw, and Panazzo on bass, as well as Lawrence Gowan on vocals and keyboards, Todd Zuckerman on drums, and Ricky Phillips on bass guitar. Ricky's a good guy, man. That was a great choice, and I'm so glad he got to do that with them. This album made them so big that Bon Jovi opened for them. They didn't survive the 90s, but the record is still legendary. I don't know about surviving the 90s. They're still around. They still recorded records, and I think that was good. They're talking about Rat. Rat seemingly came out of nowhere in 1984, scored a massive hit with their full-length debut, Out of the Cellar, and they had the EP before that as well, and especially the hit single and MTV video Round and Round. But it was their sophomore effort a year later, Invasion of Your Privacy, that cemented their standing as one of the top hair metal bands of the era and made them a North American arena headliner. So there you go. So check that out. Juan Crocier, does anybody else know what band he was in prior and is pictured on that debut album? Just in case, if anybody wants to throw down on that. I'll make sure I mention it here in a minute if I don't hear anything. Let's see. 3 classic rock covers hated by the original artist. Okay. 3 classic rock covers hated by the original artist. Oh, all right. Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann from the Roaring Silence in 76. Huh. Originally released by Bruce Springsteen from his 1972 album Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. This song was covered by Manfred Mann's Earth Band 4 years later on their 76 album, The Roaring Silence. It was a cover that the boss didn't like, particularly because Manfred Mann changed the lyric to his song. On his version, Bruce sang, revved up like a deuce. Manfred Mann sang, wrapped up like a douche. Ironically, this change may have helped the 76 version climb the charts. Okay. Plus, I'm sorry, but I don't like hearing Bruce anymore. He's terrible. All right. So I'm sorry, I didn't finish. That was one of them. What's another one? Okay. So here's another one. Where the Streets Have No Name. I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Pet Shop Boys. In 1991, the Pet Shop Boys released a medley of 2 songs. Oh, kind of like that group that did Peter Frampton, right? Where the Streets Have No Name by U2 and I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Frankie Valli. But it wasn't exactly well received by U2's lead singer, Bono, who said, "What have we done to deserve this?" Apparently, he didn't like the new rendition. Later, though, Bono and the Pet Shop Boys made amends, and today the song is a fun fan favorite. Say that 20 times fast. Amongst music listeners who grew up in the 90s. How cute. Okay, and then what's our last one? There was 3. And I keep stepping out of the article, and there were 3. All right, so there's Where the Streets Have No Name. And what was the last one? Did I miss it somewhere in the middle? I guess I did. Oh, You Really Got Me by X. You Really Got Me Now by X from X. The song was originally released by the British-born band The Kinks on their self-titled 64 album. Hey, that's my year. But about a decade later, rockers Van Halen put their own spin on the track on their self-titled 78 album. But the Kinks lead singer Dave Davies said the 2 versions were so different, nothing there was a chasm. Were so different, noting there was a chasm between the two versions. He did say it was flattering to be covered by the stadium rockers, but he noted most of all that the Van Halen version did not have the vibe of the original. Okay. But you okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't get that. Why did they say X from X? I don't get it. Now, and here's a big deal. Just heard about this yesterday. Legendary rocker opens up about his only regret, the way everything went down and ended up. Talking about Michael Anthony. When asked if he had any regrets when looking back on his extraordinary career, the former member of legendary rock band Van Halen said he had only one, and that was how things ended for the group. Ultimate Classic Rock reports how Michael Anthony, the bassist and backing vocalist of Van Halen from around 74 to 2006, recently opened up about his only regret. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. The only regret that I have is how things unfortunately turned out for Van Halen, he said. As transcribed, it's a culmination of everything that happened or whatever, because when Van Halen was really firing on all 12 cylinders, we were living the dream. It's a fairy tale or whatever. And the first time it ended when David Lee Roth left the band. Luckily, Sammy Hagar joined the band, and it was like a rebirth. And obviously the band was even bigger at that point or whatever. But the only regret I have is the way it all ended. It should have gone out with a freaking bang that shook the world, and it was more like a whimper, the way everything ended. So check more into that. There is more that he has mentioned. So check that out. Oh. All right, let's see. Legendary rock band reunites for the first time in years. Let's see what time we've got here. Okay, so what we're going to do, legendary rock band reunites for the first time in years. They sound amazing. Okay, and who are they talking about? Oh, Triumph. Yeah, Stanley Cup final between Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers in Edmonton, Alberta on Friday with 3-song reunion performance. So check that out. So that was that's been a long-standing issue. It's not an easy one to deal with. I can't imagine. Salvatore, how are you? What's up? We're going to keep this thing going. So I may end up going back to some news, but hey, let's get ready for our possible guest here. And let's see what else we have in our packages. Ooh, all right. It's the other Black Sabbath that I got, the Eternal Idol, which this one has some cool Ray Gillen stuff on it. So it's really, really awesome. That's the main reason I wanted to get it. So now I have this one, which is 7th Star, which what a lineup on that. Very different. Iommi's, really the only one. And then you have Eric Singer was there, Glenn Hughes, and it was just really what a lineup. An amazing album too. Talk about a great ballad. No Stranger to Love is just amazing. So killer. So there we go. We got Tony there. There you go. And it's this whole, this isn't brand new. This is brand new, but a brand new copy, but this is not. This has been out for a while. So really, really cool. So yeah, The Shining is on here. Let's see what else we've got here. I tell you, I work in the dark. I got to get me a light thing worked out here. The Shining, Ancient Warrior, Hard Life to Love, Glory Ride, Born to Lose, Nightmare, Scarlet Pimpernel, Lost Forever, and Eternal Idol. Title track right there at the end. So yeah, great stuff. I don't know if you got any Sabbath fans or new Sabbath fans that have never checked out the stuff that Tony Martin did, but do yourself a favor and check it out. This Eternal Idol is one that he took over after Ray Gillen was gone, because it's my understanding that Tony got a little pissed off because they had a little break time, and so Ray Gillen took off on a trip and ended up jamming with some other guys, and he didn't like that. But unfortunately, as we all know, Ray Gillen, and if you didn't know it and you don't know who Ray Gillen is, check out Badlands. It's amazing stuff. And anyway, so check out Ray Gillen stuff. And if you want to hear him doing that Black Sabbath stuff, check that Eternal Idol out. You can also see it, get it out there on YouTube. You can find it out here and check it out too. So, all right. So that's our second thing. Let's get back to a little bit more news while we wait and see if we've got our guest. Okay. All right. So here you go. Here's an opinion deal. We love opinion deals, right? 10 terrible rock albums from genuinely great bands. All right. This is usually when they're like, bleh. And you're like, are you serious? AC/DC, blow up your video. They're saying this is a terrible rock album. Blow up your video? Accusations exist that AC/DC have essentially created a tried and tested formula from their first note. Okay, yeah, whatever. Blow Up Your Video was a fun album. You just take it for what it is. Bruce Springsteen, Human Touch. Oh, okay, I can go with that. One of the greatest songwriters of all time, Bruce Springsteen, has been consistently releasing fantastic all-American rock music. All right, well, we'll see about that. Foo Fighters, well, you know. Well, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put a hold on that, and we have got an update. What is going on, Mr. Marco Mendoza?
Are you there? Are you there, bro?
I am. We are live. How are you?
I'm good. I'm walking the streets of, I thought your listeners and this is York, England.
That is wonderful.
Look at that. It's beautiful there. Though.
Man, it is, dude. It is.
And I'm on my way to the hotel where we got here a little bit ago. We're all a little delayed, you know.
Yeah.
The drive was a bit longer than expected.
Oh, I got you.
That's what touring's all about. You never know. You estimate, you guesstimate constantly, you know.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Stu?
I am great. I'm so happy to see you again, my brother.
Happy to see you too, bro.
Man, how's everything going?
What's it been, a month?
I think
more than that.
About a month and a half, probably.
Yeah, about 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's going great, amazingly.
Wow.
I couldn't be happier, man. It's every time you walk into a new project, you're always wondering what's going to happen. But I got to say, working with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai and Kenny Arnoff on drums, Peter Thorne has been musically like a whole other level, man. It's just gorgeous. I'm just like a little kid in a candy store, just enjoying the whole process of rehearsing, working through the songs, and hoping I bring, on the bass chair, I bring what they need, man. And the music is just, it's just very satisfying. And I'm singing a little bit, which is also cool.
Ooh, fantastic!
And,
you got a great voice, brother.
Thank you, bro. But so most of the time, look, 1 pound pizza. That's tomorrow. Look at this. Look at this. This is a cast. I thought your viewers would enjoy this.
Oh man, I appreciate that. You know, Jeff Paris has been doing some videos from over in Europe, and
oh, cool.
I love that, man, because things are just different there.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here.
Yeah.
Just walking the streets of anywhere in Europe, the major cities, and a lot of the little towns. It's just, let me just get rid of this.
Yeah, the Netherlands is a great place to go walking around, riding bikes. It's
It
amazing.
is. Look at this view.
Oh, good Lord, that's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, man. This is good. I thought your viewers would enjoy this. Good.
Oh
So
yeah.
I took a walk
I'm gonna
over,
I'm gonna
uh-huh,
I'm gonna enlarge your view there. There we go.
and look at the sunset right there. The
That's
sun's just
gorgeous.
going down.
That is beautiful, brother.
So how's your world, bro? What's
Well,
happening in St. Louis, right?
yeah, it's good. It's good. I finally pulled
It's a
my
little windy
first.
here. I hope it's not too noisy.
No, you're doing just fine. You're
Okay.
doing just fine. I pulled my first all-nighter last night again to try
Oh,
to get things in order. So,
uh-huh,
yeah, just trying to get it ready so I can do more and do more of this and
uh-huh.
everything. So,
Are you
yeah.
gigging? Are you playing?
I'm working on it. I'm getting back to the bass after doing the remodeling of the house, so it feels
Mm-hmm.
good to be playing again and
Awesome.
getting ready to get out there and get some gigs going. Because man, there is nothing like it.
No, I constantly do interviews, and the only word that I can find to kind of explain where I'm at or the satisfaction that I get out of playing music, different projects, and touring and recording and doing my solo thing, which has been a complete buzz for me, is I'm addicted to it. That's the only
Oh
word.
yeah,
Having been addicted to other stuff that wasn't very good for me, I know what addiction is, and
yeah,
it is a fix, man. It's a big fix. I really enjoy it that much, and I look forward to it. And
yeah, yeah.
um, we have a saying at home when I come home. My wife and my kids, they know after I'm good for a few weeks, and that's it. I start my fingers start knocking on everything, and I get that energy. I'm missing it. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
It,
good, and I'm lucky enough that I get some amazing calls by some amazing artists and I would say there's so many levels in the music
hmm
industry that I've been lucky enough to be part of. But I got to say, playing with these cats, it's like this is virtuosity at its best. And so for
Yeah.
me, I'm just wallowing in it and I'm enjoying it so much. And on top of that, they got to be the kindest, the coolest people, human beings on the planet. So it's like, it's all good, man. It's all
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. And our first show is going to be day after tomorrow.
That's what
And
I was thinking. Yeah.
mhm. So we're here. We're doing full production tomorrow at the venue. And so like that, man, everything's cool. I don't know what else to say other than
Do
it's
you,
amazing. I,
yeah. Do
I,
you know
I,
if?
I, I think that there's plans in doing a live album, which
Okay.
is going to
Cool.
be a plus. I just
That's
heard
cool.
about it from management a few days ago, and I'm like, yeah. So, what was that, bro? I'm going
How,
into the hotel, so it'll get a little quieter.
oh, okay. How many times have you been in a? Do you have any clue how many times you've been in a live video or album?
You know, hmm, that's a great question. I can't. I wish I knew. I was just
Well,
talking about that earlier too. I'm that guy, unfortunately, that never kept track of,
yeah.
of the projects that I've been involved in or projects that I've been asked to collaborate or participate. So
Yeah.
I have no idea. So I'm like, it would be nice to know. There's some people that keep track of it.
Right. Right.
There's and it always comes out, and to my surprise, it's like, wow, really? So and I like it like that. To be honest,
Yes. Yes.
let me get the shades off, and here I am. There
Yeah.
you are. Now I can see you, bro.
Ta-da.
Um, ta-da. Um, yeah, I like it like that because I I have to say I'm nowhere near finishing or near my ending. People constantly ask me because they've been around for so long. Have you thought about retirement? And the honest truth is, no. I don't. I can't even spell the word. Can you spell retirement? Big N-O, exclamation point, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
Retirement. Never heard of it.
But again, it comes with the career, with the type of job and work that you do. When you love it so much, how can you even contemplate doing something like that? So I don't. But back to your question, it's got to be thousands of projects.
I would assume.
Going back to even before I got sober September 20th of 1987. Who's counting? At 3 o'clock, I am counting. But before that, I was lucky enough to land in LA, and I got invited to audition for some pretty heavy projects, some big names. I mean, and right now it doesn't matter because I didn't land them. And I have to say, a lot of the reason why I didn't land them is because I wasn't spiritually healthy. I wasn't psychologically ready. Emotionally, I was fried. And so, yes, all good, man. Hey, how are y'all? The crew is here. Say hello.
Oh, far out.
Interview. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
But so I wasn't near ready to deal with all that stuff. But I got sober, and I kind of got to reevaluate, take inventory, if you will, of the privilege it is to do what we do, playing music, because it is a privilege. And I still look at it that way, and I respect it. And when I get calls, I try to show up on time. I try to do my homework, and make sure that I'm taking care of my end as good as possible. And that's all I did. I just got sober. I love the business, and I keep showing up. But I gotta say, it's got to be in the thousands. Projects and live recordings and studio recordings and tours and one-off shows, and there's been so many, and it always comes out in interviews. And some of these cats do a lot of research. They go back, and they have the discography, and they have the sessions and the one-offs and all that. There's a friend of mine who is out of Copenhagen, and I did a book not too long ago, and he knew that I was looking for info. And he's the guy that kept track. I mean, he goes and gets everything that I'm involved with. He went back to mid 80s, when I was still using and drugging and getting drunk and all that. And those projects they came and went so quick, and I was totally incoherent. So I had no idea what was going on. But then after 87, my first project was with Bill Ward. That I got invited to. Bill Ward from Black Sabbath, the drummer. I don't know if you knew that, but and we met in the 12-step program, in the 12-step meetings. He was into sobriety. He had a little bit more time than I did, and after a meeting, he started talking, and he was really cool and kind enough to invite me to hear his first solo album, which ended up being Ward 1. And in all honesty, that kind of put me back on the map, if you will, on the radar. And then the calls started coming in, and I got invited to go this, do that. And it's just a long list of people that I've done a lot of work with, and one of these days, I guess I will take the time to document some way or another. I see your P bass in the back. What is that?
What's that?
The white bass, your white bass, what is that?
Oh, this one right here? Yeah, that's the first bass I ever had.
It's not a P bass, it's not a Fender, but it's a copy, right?
It's a Squire.
Squire. Oh, now I remember. You brought it. Didn't we sign it?
I didn't do it yet, but when you're back, we're doing that.
I lost you. What's that?
When you come back, we are doing that.
I know. I remember signing a few basses.
You signed my Blue Murder book.
Okay.
My booklet from my CD.
Remember signing basses.
Somebody else did bring a guitar that night, though. Somebody else did. Yeah. Cool. He was that tall gentleman. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but next time, Yes,
That looks nice, man.
it
just
is.
sounds
It's
beautiful. I can hear it from here.
yeah, and I ripped the frets out. I made her into a fretless.
There we go. Oh, I remember that. That's right.
Yeah.
And no, there's no lipstick on her yet, so
You
she must sound better with the lipstick on.
it
I know, I
probably
do. I do too. I put
probably would.
eyeliner on and lipstick, and it sounds better automatically.
Maybe I'll have to try that on one of these shows. Maybe I'll do a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah. It's a trip.
They'll be like, "What are you doing?"
I'm looking at, most recently, our friend and monster guitar player and a dear friend of mine. I can call him dear friend, and we shared so much of the stage and the studio recordings and touring and friendship and a lot of respect and love. We just lost John Sykes.
Yep.
But so all these pictures are coming back from early 90s, 90, 91,
Yeah.
and 293. And I was doing the liner thing big time. And I'm like, who is that cat? And the hair was down to, really long. And I guess those were the times. But I got to say, musically, he's another cat that inspired me and influenced me so much in that he was one of the first rock guitar players, even though he had influences of all kinds of styles. You can hear it in his playing. He comes from the blues world, the rhythm and blues. And even though he was a rocker, the fact that he came to hear me with my trio, I had a Latin jazz funk trio where we played a lot of notes, a lot of a lot of Charlie Parker stuff and Weather Report stuff,
Wow.
and we do wicked covers of some standards, and we kind of build a bit of a reputation there, a little club in Studio City or Sherman Oaks. It was called La Lee, and I'm telling you, it was a Tuesday. I booked purposely. I booked Tuesdays because there wasn't a whole lot going on in LA. Other than that, Mondays was happening. The weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was booked.
Wow.
There was so much going on. So consciously, I said, a Tuesday would be good. It's a little place, kind of like the baked potato, if you're familiar with the baked potato, the tiny little places, but legendary places in that everybody plays there, Anyway, I booked that, and he came to that little club, and he walked in. His hair, Sean. And he said we used to do, because it was a jazz gig, considered a jazz gig, we used to do two 1-hour sets. And sometimes the last set would go longer, depending on, well, the place started getting packed, So you
Right.
put 120 people in those places and it's packed. And I could
Yeah.
look around and see, I'm going to drop some names, David Coverdale came in, David Lee Roth came in, Ted Nugent came into that place. All the drummers in the world came in because Joey Adelia was one of those drummers that everybody wanted to, who, looked up to. And keyboard players, Prince, obviously Prince came in, Stevie Wonder, Al Jarreau, like Chaka Khan would come in and play with us. Now I'm really dropping names. I hate it. But this is just to show you an idea
That's
of what
just
the kind of place it was. It was a little tiny little
right.
joint, but we
Right.
built it to that place where the reputation was out. If we seated us and people would come in, and to be honest, Stuart, I don't remember ever rehearsing with that project ever. I mean, I think at sound check, I would bring some chords. I would write some chords out,
Yeah.
and I would tell the guys, let's try this rhythm as a rhythm section. Let's go here in this section like that. And we make some notes, run it, and that was it. And then come
Wow.
showtime, it was a free for all. But free for all that we started playing together so much that we kind of knew each other musically, and the canvas was wide open, right?
Yeah.
But because it was a three-piece, the keyboard player Renato was ridiculous, man. I mean, he's just from another planet. And Joey on drums, my bass parts just became, everything made sense. Everywhere I put it, it made sense because they were so good. And
Wow.
then I started singing and all that. But so it was one of those fun projects with no direction, none.
Yeah.
And somehow it was copacetic and it fell in place, and we would find some cool little things, and we would also make a lot of mistakes. Obviously, there's no net,
Right.
so you're just
Right.
going, and if your ears were not plugged into the keyboard player and Joey, the drummer, you have some crashes there. But
Yeah.
we would get rid of that and keep the good stuff. And then we started building a repertoire. And that's what it was. It was a wide open canvas. And we would never, I would say this, we never repeated the same song the same way, ever. I'm talking, you could come see us 3 or 4 or 5 times, and even if we played the same set list, it would be different. It was one of those things where it was so cool, man. And I love that project for the same reason that I was doing other things that were very structured. And I go and do these big tours, come back and record these albums that were very structured arrangements. But this was just like, blow, just go. Give me a key. You start the groove, I'll follow. And if I feel like singing, I'll throw something in there on top. And,
Yep.
and it was beautiful. So the word got out that it was something cool. And now you hear a lot of bands doing it now. They take songs that we all know and they make these stupid, wicked arrangements, man. And the new breeds and new guys are like amazing. They're playing it like another world. But that's what we did. And it brings me down to that's where, after doing the Bill Ward thing, I decided to put something together like that specifically to indulge, to be honest, because we didn't have to live up to any expectations. We're just jamming, and there's something to be said about that. That you discover a lot of beautiful things along the way, and you hold on to them. Well, that's where, after doing Bill's album, that's where my name kind of got thrown around more, and the calls started coming in, and the rest is history, like to say. But I've had a beautiful journey, man. It's been amazing. The more I think about it, I like not to think about it too much, because but when I do interviews and people do their research and they start bringing these things up, I'm going, wow, I am impressed.
Yeah.
But but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's
I love
the music,
those jam things, because man, it makes you tight. And
yes. And if you play with if you jam with the same cats, that's the key. If you, being a bass player that you are, if you jam with the same drummer, man, that has all the facility, that has a groove, has a pocket, and also can be dynamic and orchestrate, play like an orchestra, which is what Joey did. He would just, and then you learn each other's skills, and you find that you connect in the middle. It's just ridiculous. So him and I started getting invited to do a bunch of sessions because of that. I mean, Lukather would come in, and Nuno Betancourt, they came in together one time to hire us. I mean, we would play, guitar players. Frank Gambale, we played with him as a trio. Scott Henderson, we played with him as a trio. Keyboard players would come in and invite us. Well, one day, Lukather and Nuno came in. They had a big tour in Japan, and they wanted to take us, as a trio, as the backing band. And unfortunately, I was tied up with some other project that I was previously tied up. So they took a friend of mine who's also an amazing bass player, Oscar Tartaya. And I missed out on that one. You can't do it all. But that's what it was. We kind of started building a bit of a reputation. And also, for me, it was exclusive 6 fretless. That's all I played at that gig.
Wow.
So yeah, I started getting invited more and more to do sessions, fretless sessions. And I want to say that's part of how I build a bit of a name in town. And it leads me to this, which is my point. And I know it's a long story, but I wanted to touch on it because I was playing fretless at Lavalley. John heard about me, Sights, and the first Blue Murder album had been out on Geffen. We were all impressed with it. I was, the fact that I was listening to Tony Franklin play fretless in a rock setup with John, a monster guitar player, Carmine, monster drummer. He came in. They had a falling out of sorts. It's always business. I never asked why or what. Didn't matter. But he came in to offer me the gig. He came, sat down. I played one set. I got off, and he came straight to me. He says, "How you doing?" I'm John Sykes. "I know who you are, man. I'm a big fan.
Trust me, I know who you are.
I have the album. I have all the stuff. I kind of keep kept track of where you've been, what you've been doing, and it's a pleasure to have you here. I said, yeah, you know, I'm looking for a fretless bass player, and I heard about you, and you're amazing. Can you come to the studio? It was just that simple. Can you come to the studio next week? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So I came in, and the rest is history. I ended up playing on Nothing But Trouble, which is the second album, Blue Murder. And that was my connection with John. And from then on, we just hit it off, man. I saw all his, you know, I saw the boys. He had 3 boys that grew up around, you know, and I was around for a while. And then he brought me into other situations, including Thin Lizzy, you know, and the rest is it is what it is. But and the reason I brought him up is because we were talking about makeup, right? And in those days, I started doing the eyeliner and all the other stuff and the hair and the whole thing. So all these pictures are popping up now, and I'm going, wow, that was a lifetime ago, man. What a trip, you know. It's a lot of great memories, a lot of great music. And now playing with what I consider the masters of guitar playing, the, you know, pioneers, trailblazers, the cats that changed the world of guitar playing, like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. For me, it's a dream, you know. And as a bass player with Kenny Arnoff on drums, it doesn't get it any better. He's there. He's the cat.
Explosive, man. That guy
drives.
Yeah.
He drives. I just said, shotgun, and he's driving, and I just go along, man, and everything. It's a beautiful thing. And then Peter Thorne, who brings so much. He's also an extremely talented guitar player. So it's a great bunch of cats, and musically, it's just another level. It's gorgeous, man. It's beautiful. Really,
do they have
really
somebody that's on keyboards on this tour?
No.
Okay.
They decided not to do that. Peter is sampling some pads, and it sounds, I'm like, holy poop, what the hell? I mean, there's no lack of soundscapes and layers. It's amazing, man, the way everybody plays. So it's pretty cool, man. Very, very happening.
Wow.
Very rich musically.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know how official it is, and I shouldn't say anything, but they're talking about the U.S. next year.
Cool. I was going to say, how's it looking for the States? Because that
I know.
would be great.
So, it would be awesome. So I know there's talks about it. It was mentioned, and it was also mentioned about the live album, and so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see, man. I'm just happy to be here. That's all.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know because of like the G3 tours, you know, there's always been a popularity for them to do live videos and things like that. That's kind of what I was that's why I was hoping. Well,
yeah, man. The guitar
really
world
cool.
just looks up. They're on top of them. Whatever they do, the whole planet's interested, you know, including me.
I know, right?
So to get the call, to get invited to participate is just great.
Yeah.
I go without sounding pretentious. I feel like I must be doing something right that kind of validates you in a sense, you know. So it's cool.
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
I
was going to ask you real quick. Has there been anything throughout the rehearsals and getting in with the band and getting it? Have you gotten any cool words of praise that you're like, oh, thanks?
Yeah, they're very cool at expressing themselves, and we heard through Kenny. Kenny's been part of Joe's camp and Steve's for a while. It came through him that they were really happy after a few days of rehearsal, so that meant a lot, you know.
That's great.
But they're very comfortable in expressing when they're happy, when they're satisfied. You know, I'm not. I'm my worst critic. I always want to keep improving, and the singing, the playing, the whole thing, and I listen to the music and I work on it, and I'm trying to just get inside, and it's all about repetition here. Get inside the music so that you can understand in a different way. You know what I mean? Instead of being on top of it and just playing your parts through your head, get inside, man. and the harmonies are just gorgeous. I just being part of the canvas as
Yeah.
opposed to on top of it, you're inside the canvas, inside the color scheme. You know, you try to bring something that does it justice as a bass player. So always supporting the melody and always supporting the groove, the pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a few opportunities to kind of let loose a little bit, but not too much. You know, it's something I've learned with years and years of playing, to be disciplined, to understand that there's a melody, there's a soloist, there's a vocalist, there's parts there that we need to support.
Yeah.
And the bass players that I look up to uh, are the bass players that bring it, that know how to address that role, and they apply themselves. They just play the perfect notes at the right time. You're applying yourself to, and if you're lucky enough, what they let you loose a little bit, then you have the chops
Right.
to kind of have fun, you know.
Right.
But it also depends on the music, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot to learn. I like to say that I'm always learning. I'm always going to be teachable, you know, remain teachable, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
one of
always
those things.
it's always wonderful to stay tight with the drummer too, when there's something that you've heard them do before and then you can read into that later, then it's always good. Oh, maybe we lost him for the moment. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll be back. Man, this is great. So glad this worked out with Marco to do this. And over in England right now, getting things together for this tour. Yeah, make sure what we've got going on. And I'm just honored to have him here today. I'm so glad he was able to take some time out to do this. So hopefully we'll get him back in here real quick. But in the meantime, think about, keep track of this, because like you said, it starts day after tomorrow and on the 13th. And it's going to be just an amazing tour. I know that they'll be having, there'll be videos out there, and you can check it out. Tour schedules are out there for anybody. It's summertime. For anybody who, I lost him for a second, but I'm sure he'll be back. But check, if you're going over to Europe, check out some of the dates that are scheduled. They're going throughout Europe, and I just know this is going to be another one of those great smashing tours. I mean, if you got Satch and Vi on the same stage, my question to Marco when he comes back is, I want to ask him when he got into those guys respectively, what was his favorite stuff. So yeah, just yep. I'm checking in with a friend of mine who is getting ready for the 4:00 show. She didn't know about this one, but so she's just asking me how it works. I sent her a link for the show to watch it, and because Matt Bissonette, of course, was on tour with Elton John for years, but he did his farewell tour, and so we got to see him here in St. Louis. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Marco may not be able to get back to us, but what an honor, what a great moment to have with him, as he's excited to play with these guys. I would be too. I would, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's just a little bit of a step in a little different direction. But I mean, and not, I don't, how do I mean that? Like when I saw Yngwie Malmsteen years ago over just across the river in Illinois, and Rudy Sarzo was playing bass for him. I was like, whoa, Rudy's playing for Yngwie. And it just went ahead and showed me what a great bass player he is, and some of the other things that he plays and how well he plays. I mean, we all know that he's a seasoned bass player. He's been in multiple bands that we all love. And it's just the way it is. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just, I'm going to write him a note real quick here. Just, sorry, I lost you. If you'd like to say one last thing or to the fans, I'm still on. Otherwise, let's just put in otherwise, all the best. All the extreme best from us all. How about that? Appreciate you. How about, and we'll end with thank you for your time. And a cheers. How about that? There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So that's that. All right. So we'll wrap this up here. And let's see what we've got here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So remember this. Bad albums by 10 terrible rock albums from genuinely great bands. All right. So Foo Fighters, they're saying Medicine at Midnight. Def Leppard, Slang. I can back that. All right. I can back that. I love Def Leppard for all the things that they did all throughout, those earlier years. I just love that stuff. Aerosmith, Just Push Play. I don't know. That's not terrible. Kings of Leon, Can We Please Have Fun? I've not listened to them much at all, but I am planning on getting into them. Weezer, what is this? Pacific Daydream. Okay. What's it say about that? Even to this day, Weezer are a band whose back catalog ignites such extreme emotional reactions that Saturday Night Live devoted an entire skit to it. There are a few records in the Weezer canon that are difficult to assign any real value to, but Pacific Daydream is the one whose existence is hardest to justify. Okay. No Doubt, Push and Shove. Okay. With a glut of albums rammed with era-defining hits, an irresistible melding of ska and new wave, and a once-in-a-generation front woman. Huh. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Hey.
A call came in and I lost you.
That's okay, man. That's all right. That's all right.
I'm here with my friend Kenny.
Hey, what's up? How's Kenny doing?
So, just one last thing, man. To all your listeners, thank you for supporting, showing the love, and check out Marco Mendoza Official as well. There's a lot of stuff cooking. I'm trying to put some shows in the U.S. for November or December, actually. So
wow,
stay
great.
tuned. I'd like to come in and headline my thing. I'll talk to you. Maybe you can help in your area. I know you have a lot of connections, but like that, man, it's all good. I'm happy, and live music it's a lifeline, man. That's the way I feel. It really is.
And so, you bring such a great energy for anybody who hasn't seen you out there playing. I've seen you over the years through different video bits of, with Nugent or with Whitesnake and the Dead Daisies, and I've told you this before. So I'm saying it again because I'm a big believer in it myself as a bass player and a front man.
Yes.
I just love bringing the energy, and I'm like, man, you are one of those guys that connects, and you have a great energy with the crowd,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
and it's fun to watch. It is fun to
It's
watch.
very important. I mean, the entertainment thing, I learned from, I was inspired by the best, you know.
Hmm.
But there's just no doubt in my mind that we do what we do because of the audience, because of the
Hmm.
fans. And I always keep that in mind when I get up on stage. It's about you guys. We are
Yeah,
here, yeah, we're playing and all that, but you are the supporters. You make it possible for us to do what we do. So I'm forever grateful and forever. It's a privilege, and they are the they are the vehicle, man. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's part of it. That's part of the attitude, I call it the attitude of gratitude as well.
absolutely.
And so when I get up in front of any audience, 50, 100, thousands, I always try to remember that they are there to support you, and it's because of them that we are doing what we're doing. So I try to keep it,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
not to get
And
too mushy, but it's truth.
well, no. And I think it's important to remember that just exactly what you said, whether it's 50 or 1,000, even if it's a room that could hold a few hundred and
Hmm.
you've got 50 people, it's not their fault that
No,
that the other people didn't show up,
yeah.
and if you
And
give
then
them a great
also, yeah,
show, it goes a long way.
yes, and also the industry's changing and everything. We're going through a period right now where hopefully everything will reboot and end up where it needs to be. But I think it's
Hmm.
about live performances. It's all about bringing it to the people.
Right.
And if we have to go to smaller venues to continue, I don't have a problem with that at
Right.
all.
Right.
What's important to me is just to keep it going, whatever
Right.
that is. So, but
Yep.
thank you so much for having me,
Thank you
Stuart, and I
very much. I
appreciate it.
really appreciate it.
And
Really appreciate
let's
it.
let's have a conversation maybe this weekend about maybe coming into your area if you
That'd be
can help.
great.
All right.
You got it, brother.
Peace, love. Okay,
Hey,
bud.
man. Peace. All the best to you,
Okay.
man. Have a great
Thank
tour.
you. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, it's 3:42. I don't know let me see if I can finish this article before I go. I hate to leave it without it. So we were at Aerosmith, we were at Kings of Leon, we were at Weezer and No Doubt. And what comes after No Doubt? Number 2 is the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Unlimited Love in 2022. It isn't much of a reach to suggest that guitar prodigy John Frusciante is the catalyst for much of the best material produced by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Present on all the band's biggest albums, it felt as though the troubled musician's second departure from the band in 2009 would be his final contribution to the Funky Monks. His return in December 2019 was greeted with much fanfare for all these reasons. So anyway, I guess they didn't like that album. And U2, Songs of Innocence is the number 1 choice from 2014. I'll tell you what really bugged the crap out of me is it ended up on my phone automatically. So then somehow whenever I would start listening to iTunes on my phone, that would show up. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. I'm not impressed. And it says here, let's see, it starts at the bottom of the drain and spends an hour trying to tunnel lower. Damn. Oh, the stupidity of this release has not been topped since, and the creative bar has never been lower for the 3rd or 4th best band to ever come from Ireland. That's too bad. You shouldn't say that kind of stuff. I suppose everybody else looks at it like you shouldn't earn it either. So there you go. And there you have it. Let me see here. I'm just trying to. Oh, they're talking about Styx again. No, they're talking about Yes. It says, while iconic prog rock band tours classic 71 album, here's what some of the original members are doing. Did you guys know that Rick Wakeman was a stand-up comedian? I think we should get him here in town. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame prog rockers Yes have announced that they will launch a tour on October 1st to celebrate their classic 72 album, Fragile. Interestingly, the current lineup of the band only has one member, guitarist Steve Howe, who actually played on the album Fragile, which includes the album rock classic Roundabout, and also features John Anderson, bassist Chris Squire, who can't be there, keyboardist Rick Wakeman, and drummer Bill Bruford. Squire died in 2015 from leukemia, but Anderson is still active and is about to launch a second leg of his Yes Epic, Classic, and More tour with his own group, John Anderson and the Band Geeks. It begins June 15th. Wow, just around the corner as well, in Washington, and runs through July 13th in St. Louis. So I guess I got to try to get him on the show. Anderson split from Yes in 2004 after he was suffering from asthma, bronchitis, and exhaustion in the last week of the group's 35th anniversary tour. He feels like he's still part of the band. I have this feeling that in my mind, in my thoughts, I'm still in Yes, even though I got very ill and they had to carry on. That's what bands do, he told Rolling Stone in 23. Bruford, meanwhile, is keeping busy playing in the Pete Roth Trio, a jazz combo led by his former drum tech. They're playing dates in Japan later this month before heading to the UK, Italy, and Spain in July. There it is, Pete Roth Trio featuring Bill Bruford. And Mike Pratt is also in the band. Wakeman is also touring this summer, his Strictly Wakeman tour, featuring Hayley Sanderson, a singer on the British TV show Strictly Come Dancing, begins July 18th in Richmond, Virginia. Cool. And runs through July 31st in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Phoenixville. Along with Howe, the current version of Yes includes keyboardist Jeff Downs. Wow. Who was on board during the band's Owner of a Lonely Heart resurgence in the early 80s and rejoined in 2011, as well as multi-instrumentalist. There you go. And if you haven't heard that first, why can't I say it now? World Trade record, you got to hear it. The first one and the third one are the best. Second one, but also Billy Sherwood did work with William Shatner. So check that out if you can. And drummer Jay Shellen, the latter three musicians are relatively new recruits who joined the band in 97, 2012, and 2016, respectively. So there you go. Yes is Fragile. I might as well finish this out with this. Yes is Fragile 2025 tour kicks off October 1st in Wallingford, Connecticut, and runs through November 16th in Reno, Nevada. So there you go. Check that out. Just say yes. All right. Well, there we go. All right, guys. Well, I'll get going here, and I will see you very shortly. This backdrop isn't so bad for today. I'm glad we are experiencing goodness here. So anyway, but enjoy yourselves. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you big time to Marco Mendoza. I mean, that was very, very nice of him to stop in for a quick bit after they were running a little behind there, getting into town. And lots of props and lots of thanks and appreciation to Mr. Mendoza, man. What a great dude. What a great dude. I can't wait to see some of the footage of him playing live with the guys. That's just going to be so, so cool. Talking to a friend of mine, too, about some animation things. Man, I am stoked. And this is crazy because I didn't go to bed at all last night. So I slept a couple hours this morning afterwards, but I can't wait to show you guys what I got going on here. So for the moment, take it easy, and we will see you soon. Remember, when you step out your door every day, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So take it easy.